Alright, so welcome back to the first qualifier for the Genghis Khan League, hosted by MetaPlays. We got ISanych spawning as the Red Trunks Mongols player here at the top side. On the lower side, we've got Chuck Francis spawning as French in the Blue Trunks. So I just had to cough.
Finite.
So we've got a player from Holy versus a player from Genesis Gaming. So a lot of early wood gathering here from ISanych. He's probably going to go for an early barracks or an early stables. I'd say probably a barracks, because it'll put him in the position to disrupt this gold as early as possible, as well as have the units to try and fend off the likely French H2 landmark, because he'll be going for the school, the cavalry school. But ISanych, while his barracks is going down, the gold mine for Chuck Francis is on the far side of the base. That's really going to mean that he'll be pushed off the food, probably. So I think it'll actually be quite some time before ISanich's able to hit. If he is going to go, yeah, so dual spearman rallied straight across, and the villager crossing the map as well. So Chuck Francis getting a mill, probably looking to get wheelbarrow as soon as he takes age 2. So it's nice to have the mill there preemptively. Though I guess you could say, oh, it's a tad early. Oh, actually, he's going to go for lumber first, so looks like Chuck Francis. Ah, here we go. There's the age up. So it's pretty much for muchness whether or not you get the school cav, the mill, or the lumber camp down first. But as long as all three are sort of coming out around the same time, you'll be able to go for wheelbarrow while the sage up is finishing up. There you go with that gold mine right at the rear. It's, you know, it's always a bit of a gamble opening so aggressively on any civ. And, you know, Mongols, you sort of feel shoehorned into without playing a really sort of boomy early game build. And I mean, you generally want to get some early aggression advantage. It's a little bit sloppy there for ISanych, dropping the Khan. But Chuck Francis happy to just delete the mining camp. He doesn't want to give his opponent the resources from actually torching it, because he gets that nice pillage bonus of 25 food and gold. That's the Mongols. So ISanych in the meanwhile be looking to try and age up here behind this. Just get a read on his opponent, deny any potential fast town center, or, you know, getting on another source of easy gold here. Sort of just shepherding his opponent into playing around archers on a civ that really probably wants to play pretty heavily around the knights in age 2. And it's, you know, French age 3, the range has become really useful with the arbs, who are an improved crossbowman basically. But until then, you know, you're really trying to make use of having quick training and early access knights that can heal. And a civ that, you know, has access to early meal, you know, free melee upgrades, cheaper eco techs as well. So those are really sort of what get you ahead in age 2. Or Mongols, their age 2, I guess it's just pretty lackluster, other than the fact that Silver Tree can be a wonderful boom for the Mongol player. But that's really about the highlight of the Mongol Age 2. You know, and the fact that you usually get going pretty quickly here in Age 1 with some sort of tower harass. But the one archer will be able to at least fend off these spears long enough for Chuck to try and tower this up himself. Chuck just trying to slowly torch the Gur. Probably not going to be of any effect. You know, it puts the sheeps at risk, so he wants to probably keep scouting with this guy, make sure there's absolutely no sheep left, bring him back before he tries doing that. And the scout's just going to keep an eye on things over here. So you've got horsemen transition from ISanych to be able to take out that archer. Four of the spears just in that tower for now, preventing any potential expansion onto that gold mine. Well, these horsemen going to be able to go straight on the archers. Get a couple of easy kills there. Focusing on the archer now as well. Phil's going to have to run for their lives. And Chuck just deleting the mining camp because again he doesn't want to risk having it get taken out and losing it, and also giving his opponent resources with the scavenge. So it's probably best he just deletes it, unless he's confident he can jump back on it before his opponent can torch it. But very crafty here. Chuck sneaking a horseman in to the gold mine here by ISanych, so he'll be able to kill one of those villagers. And his own stone mine interrupted now, but he almost just about got the stone he needs. Yeah, he's going to have plenty of stone. So Chuck going to be able to go to the second town center. And it's really tough because Mongols actually have a more expensive town center than the other civs, even though it only costs wood. And they're also going to have the benefit of this trader eco. It's going to take a while for that trader eco to pay for itself. How much resources is this? So 45 resources, not bad. And it's going to be a pretty quick income because like the shorter the path is, the quicker the income actually ticks up. And the easier it is to sort of, keep an eye on it and spend it all. At the same time, it's ultimately less efficient per trip than a longer market line. So ISanych just making sure his markets are safe, or his market is safe. Now Chuck, revving up on that cavalry production. He'd sort of held off on any of it early on in order to cram out the early archers. Try and take that gold mine in the face of the spears. ISanych moving the silver tree to the far corner now. He'd spent the stone that he had to try and get as many traders as possible and, build it as close as possible, but now... Whoa! The trader. Already all the gold shoots straight up as it's got to cover the rest of the distance. So it jumps up from 45 resources to 204. No. Yeah, 204. That's pretty impressive. The pressure will be on Chuck to try and break this because, he does have two town center himself. It'll take a little while for the traders to first start generating crazy income here. ISanych going to try and tickle the gold mine of Chuck now. So he just hits a villager and then runs away in anticipation of the garrison there. He's actually just going to bring him back in. And now ultimately, lose him by the look of it. Yay. Yay, we'll lose him. There's a lot more now on the way here. ISanych. Bit overconfident there. I think he was probably best off trying to watch those guys as he headed in. Maybe bringing all the army there, because I think if he had have engaged without losing those horsemen there, I think ISanych could have actually overwhelmed Chuck with what was there. Until, you know, Chuck basically got garrison vills not only in the tower, but then also in the town center. But ISanych backing off for the moment. I think he's slowly continuing to bump up this caravan count. So even though he's down on villages, these guys are going to be a quite hefty boon to his economy. And they started gathering resources other than just food and gold. They started getting the wood. Yeah, here we go. So it's ticked up again. Shit, so he's getting 241 resources per round trip now. But ISanich's army sort of out of position to prevent any damage being done. And, you know, he probably should have tried to pressure this gold mine for Chuck, because now Chuck is going to be able to try and snipe a couple of caravans here. And if he can deny, you know, 600, 700 resources here, it could really be the tipping point. In fact, he's going to surround, get another. Well, he's killed a few of these things. Chuck, going to defend a little raid at home, but it's nothing he can't handle. And now ISanych really going to try and clean this up with the spears. You know, they're a little bit late to the party. I think a lot of the damage has been done here in terms of really minimizing, you know, the bullshit boom that the Silver Tree can potentially offer. You know, if left completely uninterrupted, like, I don't even know if Malians can compete with that. It's unreal. You know, for the ability of the Mongos to either push or go quick. Well, not quick, but go for an age 3 behind. Getting up to about 6 to 8 caravans. Now ISanych can have to replace a few more of them. Now he's chasing the French player back, but it's only going to work so well because spears overstaying their welcome. Chuck going to get a few of them. So the more of these he can pinch, ISanych, the easier it is going to be to try and break in with the knights if he's not trying to wait till age 3 here to make something happen. Archers microed straight onto the spears, so he's going to focus them down. Knights retreating. Some good control here for Chuck. He's not wanting to overdo things. ISanych is really running out of units there. Look at that control there. The kiting leaving a lot of those spears dead now. So it's been a really nice fight there for Chuck, who's ISanich's probably needed to try and get some horsemen onto these guys. Chuck not overstaying his welcome, but he's, you know, pulling these horsemen away from the rest of the army. Ooh, overstaying a little bit there, losing the scout, but it's the smallest of losses. Horsemen might be able to chip away at one of these knights on the way home, though. The player looking to go to age 3 just yet by the looks of things. Army counts still favouring ISanych, but bearing in mind it has been a lot of the game and Chuck hasn't really been a problem for him so far. because these knights have been quite tanky. He's been utilising them and the archers to great effect so far. Eco count favours Chuck, but I think it's a bit misleading considering ISanych does have these traders and the insane drop-off they've got. But in saying that, he's lost a few more of them than he probably should. I don't think he's really gotten the mid-game value out of trying to push down here that he's wanted just yet, but this might change things. The Knights are over trying to clean up that outpost, and in the meanwhile, nice little raid here, cleaning up a couple of villages. Let's be able to get a few more as well, but that's a lot of towers, and these horsemen, as you know, as tanky as they might be, they don't have heavy armor, so they are ultimately going to have to retreat. A couple of villages going down there. ISanych closing that Vil gap a little bit, but he needs to get these horsemen home ASAP. He can't let the Knights just charge into them. So he's going to have to try and run back. And oh, he possibly, if he has the rest of the army ready here, could possibly catch everything here at the wood line. But he's not looking to bring these guys forward. Doesn't really have... Oh, he hasn't brought up these other spears because he's kept them back, wanting to keep the market line safe now. So he's sort of gone from playing a bit, well, with these market traders, a bit too exposed to now potentially missing an opportunity to maybe collapse on the Knights over here. Because now the Archer Ball's moving over from Chuck. He's so far seems to be positioning really well in the fights, although these raids are starting to get ISanych a little bit more value now. And with the mass of horsemen on the one tower, he should be able to take that out. The rest of the villagers clearing out. There's now spears to clean this up, so ISanych going to want to retreat here possibly. At the same time, he needs to get these guys up here for the fight because Chuck's taken a chance to engage, knowing that he's actually got the army advantage up here with all those horsemen tied up down there, so the archers didn't really have anything to worry about. Only about half the horseman count that they otherwise would have had to deal with, maybe even less. So ISanych trying to take a nice surround here, but the spears over on the right side of the fight to block for the archers at the moment, and that front line now really serving a great purpose there for Chuck. He's able to focus down the last of the spears, but saying that his own knight count is really diminishing, so ISanych taking a really nice fight here overall, and his army pop is still in a nice little lead over his opponent. Still got the Khan buff on his units, now just wearing off. And these archers, they are not going to be around much longer because they're not going to be able to get home terribly quickly. More knights being produced here for Chuck. They're going to have to be a little bit careful considering those spears, but ISanych not wanting to overcommit. Archer spears here to defend as well. Not quite able to get onto the horsemen, and there's plenty of archers here for ISanych. And he really needs them in the fight rather than attacking the lumber camp now, because Chuck, having pulled the fight further back of this range, you know, now engaging in suboptimal targets rather than on archers or spears themselves. So Chuck should be able to turn this one around ultimately. It's pretty crafty of him to keep on just retreating there. Ultimately ended up really paying off because ISanych, a lot of those archers not really connecting with the spears of Chuck's. Players, big gold bank there for Chuck actually, and ISanych has the gold he needs for an age up. I was about to say, are they looking to age up or just keep trying these feudal fights? ISanych, insane gold generation, but it's all just getting dumped into food by the look of it. Yeah, spend 166 gold to get 100 food. That starts out at a little bit less than that, I believe. It's a big farm eco transition here from our French player. He's going to try and really wall himself in now. ISanych is making his way across, but now he's finding he's going to have to retreat and cover for what's going to be either a hunting or a gold mine location. Ah, yep, he's hunting over here. So Chuck against sniping spears already, and archers. It's a bit of a mess of a fight with both of our players having access to cav, to range, and to spears here. It doesn't look like there's a lot of horsemen left here, nor a lot of spears for ISanych, so Chuck, I think, is slowly pulling ahead in this fight here. Still got plenty of knights and a good critical mass of archers here. Still a couple low ones there at the back, but they're focusing on a knight, so that's not so good for ISanych. So his unit focus letting him down slightly there in that fight. Even though he's doing the chasing now, I think he's actually got a little bit less in terms of military on the field, which is not good for the Mongol player because he doesn't have access to any H2 heavy armor. So it should almost never happen against the civs that do. You know, once you hit age 3, or if you are playing a civ that doesn't have access to heavy armor, or you're on a civ that has access to heavy armor and you're against one that does, you know, then it's sort of fair enough, but yeah, it's always rough, because now, here we go, his military population's recovered a bit. The eco pops are still pretty similar, and more caravans. Unreal, 26 of them. They're not being fully towered up across the market line, so I don't think they're getting all the benefit of the movement speed. Like you probably could still do with one over here or something. Because it's nice having them with the Yam movement speed boost. And to ISanych and to everyone else that really likes building lots of caravans, you should check out Age of Empires Online, because I think it's the game for you. It used to be out and out the most market dependent AoE, sorry. I mean, it's been nerfed a little bit now, but then again, town center costs have been up slightly as well. Chuck now going to have to deal with the fact that he'll be dropping some structures here. He's got a lot of food in the bank though, enough gold to try and age up here too, I believe, but for now it looks like he's just trying to hold off. Doesn't quite have the military that ISanych here does at the moment. The archers focusing down those spears. Well, now they're focusing down cabs, so not so good there for Chuck, but right, it's getting on top of the archers, so this isn't good for ISanych, who's lost all of his front line. Minimal numbers of spears, and I think he's sort of overcommitted trying to fight just inside the range of the town center here. And GG, Chuck takes the game.